live, hopefully.
This is a different link than what we scheduled. Evidently, you can't schedule it and then go live on your phone. So hope you can find us.
And we are live, but we don't have anybody on yet.
Right. So.
We are live.
Should I delete this one?
Yeah, I think so. Anybody?
Delete forever.
Oh, we have 10 people. Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Sorry, we're just kind of getting some like it's basically paperwork, but it's on the computer.
Yep.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
Hi, Jonathan. How are you? And Malcolm. How are you? And Owen. Good morning for us. Happy Sunday for wherever you are. From the UK. Great. And Denmark. So it's the evening for you guys. We decided to do it again kind of early in the morning-ish. It's just after 10 o'clock or close to 10 o'clock here in the morning. So, and from Switzerland. Oh, great. Afternoon from the UK. Great. Good. All right. And I think this time worked pretty well. Oh, and hi from Florida, Green Parrot. How are you?
Keep going.
Yep.
I'm trying to get the chats up so I can see the names here on the screen. Yes. Let's see.
And from Florida, yes. And greetings from Kentucky, yes. Hi there. How's everybody's day? Are you having a good Sunday? We have some weird weather coming in from Australia. Great. And Paris. Oh my gosh.
Australia. It's got to be, what time is it in Australia?
It's got to be really
like
early in the morning.
Like late at night, late at
Right,
night
so,
for you, or early in the morning.
From Vegas.
Yeah.
So we have some weird weather coming in, and we'll probably end up mentioning this a little bit later as well. But the reason that we're doing a live stream is we got completely stuffed by this stupid blizzard that we had about a week ago or so.
It's going to snow again today.
And it's going to snow again today. And I'm working on the 993, which is up on the lift, and I'm doing brakes. I'm doing these guys today. So I've already done one wheel, and I'm got to get to the other one. But that's the chore. But boy, it's hard to schedule all this stuff and get it done because of the crazy weather. So, boy, those things are heavy. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
The Netherlands. So 4 a.m. Oh my, it's 4 a.m.
Wait.
Oh my, in Australia.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow. 3 a.m. Monday. Oh my gosh. Holy
Hopefully you
cow.
don't have to work.
What are you doing up at 3 a.m.? That's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But thank you for logging on. That's awesome. Also, let us know if you've got any questions or if there's anything we can answer. We'll probably just kind of talk. Guten Abend.
Yeah. Guten Abend.
Guten Abend.
Yes. So.
Day off tomorrow. Oh, good. Oh, you have a day off tomorrow. Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
Oh, that's sweet. Wish I had a day off tomorrow. So, yeah, so I've been working on the 993, trying to get the brakes sorted on that car. Wow, I think the rear brakes on that car were actually original. Can you believe that? From 1995. The pads were super worn, and I put a set of calipers on the discs, and boy, they were right at the bottom of the spec. So, that's that. And somebody asked, okay, it faded away, but question was, what's left on the 3.2 Carrera? Great question. So at this point, the engine's actually running really well. So that when it starts up cold, it should sort of kind of get its feet, and then it'll run the idle up a little bit, and then it'll run it back down again. And it's doing all of that. So that's great. And then when you start it warm, it was having some trouble. Before, when you'd start it warm, it would sort of falter, and one time I actually even stalled. And now, starting it warm, it starts right up and it's working great. So I think we're out of the woods for the engine work on the car, which is awesome. So it's doing great. From here, we are scheduling, I think it's going to be next with stupid weather, but as soon as the weather gives us a window, the car is going off to this guy who does upholstery work, and we have the whole huge kit of all the new upholstery, which is awesome. So that took 8 months to get here, but it's here, and we'll take it to him and have him install it. He's also going to put some Dynamat in there as well as sort of a sound deadening. So I'm really looking forward to that, because the car's it's reasonably rattly, not rattly, but just kind of bangy and noisy. And I know it's not going to make a huge difference, but it'll help a little bit. Porsche actually put some on the floorboards and stuff too. So anyway, it'll be great to get the interior done. And then I'm going to go back and work on a few other things. The door cards need to go back in, various bits and bobs that we're trying to kind of fix, screws and things that need to be replaced. And then after that, so that'll kind of all be one
really
thing.
embarrassing. Can I use your phone?
Yes.
Because I don't know why I can't get the chat window up.
Okay. And so after that, then I want to do a full detail on the car, since the interior will be basically brand new, which will be awesome. Go through and do an exterior detail on the car, and I think it's going to look great.
Yeah, click right on it. It comes right up there.
Right up. You have to turn that right down. There we go. There we go. So, and then we want to bring you all the money we spent on the car. So it's a pretty big list. Heidi's been working on it quite a bit.
I
actually.
have. I'm only about a third through it. So
Yeah. So we have
a lot of receipts to go through.
A lot of receipts and a lot of stuff. And I'm curious too. I'm sure we way overspent, because that's kind of
we
way
always we always way overspent.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we have a lot of people on
we
from Europe, which is great, and Malcolm from Australia. That's bravo.
And then someone just asked how I learned to work on cars. So I get asked this question a lot. How did you learn to work on cars? And I don't have a technical degree. I do have a degree in engineering, but of course that doesn't help you on working on, Porsches at all. But it's just a matter really of going through the manuals really carefully, reading them, making big notes on stuff, and then getting into it. It's really just a lot of experience and learning from the best. So when we had to take the engine out of the 356 for the first time, we brought in some big guns. We brought in Joe Leone and Cal Enzer and a bunch of people from the 356 group, because I'd never done that before. And I know it's fairly simple. It's 4 bolts literally holding the engine on. But my point is that I like to bring in the big guns for stuff like that, because that way I can learn quite a bit. And then next time when I have to do it, I'll have all that knowledge built up. And then there's just a lot of other stuff. I don't use power tools for the most part unless I absolutely have to. And that has saved me so many times from breaking bolts and things. Just being careful and staring at things. And then after a while, you just amass a lot of knowledge, I think.
She does. And she doesn't seem to forget it. I mean, that's my downfall, is I don't remember what I, ate the day before.
I've eaten since then.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is though that you make notes and you can always go back to them. So every one of the projects that I work on the car, I usually have 3 or 4 pages of notes.
She does do a lot of research, and I think that's one thing that, I mean, when we get a new car, Franny will go and actually read the entire manual from cover to cover, and a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's Franny. She'll go on the forums, she'll research it, and she will really find, what's going on and people's opinions, because there's always different opinions about how to do something. So Franny will, read them and see if somebody had success or didn't have success. And she's like, this is the only way to do that.
Yeah. Well, and a good example of that would be the 356 is coming up in rotation as well, because I can't really in good conscience drive that car much the way it is right now. The brakes aren't that great. When you stop, it tends to sort of swerve back and forth a little bit.
The brake videos, there's going to be more brake videos on that car.
And so that's driving me crazy on this car. And then the steering is just kind of stiff. It goes, and it shouldn't do that. And so I think the steering column bushing I think it swells. I think that's what happens. If you put the wrong lubricant on it, it swells. And it was like that when we picked up the car. I got it to sort of loosen up a bit, but it's back. I think it's swollen again. So I think I'm gonna have to pull it out and replace it. But my point with all that is that for the brakes and the brake shoes and the cylinders, there's a lot of different bits that are sold through a lot of the companies, and I want to make sure I get the right ones. We went through a lot of research just for the 993 for these
We
guys.
had some bad
Oh
stuff.
my gosh! So just for getting
Right.
like rotors and things
Are
and
those the right
pads.
side, by the way? Those are the right side.
Yeah, these are the right ones. So the
What-
discs are different. So doing a tremendous amount of research on these things. These are
Mhm.
Zimmerman. They have this wonderful silver coating on them, which is really nice. Some of them don't.
Right, and we
Um,
talked to our contact
yeah.
at
This
Auto
guy.
House,
Oh, there we
and,
go.
and tried to get everything right, and then Franny comes
And we
in
didn't,
filming
Yes,
yesterday, and
So these little guys. Now, I don't know if anyone out there has worked on disc brakes before, and I don't know if this is a Porsche thing, but these little guys go on the back sides of the brake pads, actually. So this hole, or this little, I don't know what this guy is, like a little spring or a little clippy guy, goes into a recess on the actual piston, and then this is just a double-sided sticky tape thing that sticks to the backside of the pad, and they're vibration dampers is what these things are, but they're the wrong size. In fact, there's 3 different sizes, and this one doesn't fit anything. The top calipers are smaller.
we got 4 of them. We
the top
needed
pistons-
8,
Yeah,
and
and then we didn't have enough. But
right,
this is a great example of a part that we didn't research well enough, and oh my God, there's just so many different sizes. So I'm able to use the old ones. They're in good shape. So
I
I
love
just
how
pull
we
them off.
fixed it too. Franny's like, I wish we had double-sided sticky tape, and I'm like, yes, we do. And what did we end up using?
Yeah, something from that Heidi uses to keep the kitties off of.
The
different
furniture.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
this double-sided sticky tape that keeps the cats from
Yeah, it
from
worked really well.
clawing pieces of furniture and cupboards or whatever. And
So I just carefully
Right.
disassembled the old ones off the pads and put new sticky tape on them, and that solved that problem. But God, all the research and back and forth with the company that we used Auto House AZ for our
Right.
parts, and back and forth with Paul on that, and emails back and forth. And the manuals just don't really say, and they don't even say how to reinstall
Right.
it. So you do get stuck from time to time.
you do.
working on
And
stuff.
so, yeah, we're doing a live stream because we're stuck from Shamu's perspective. We've been
Mhm.
trying to find a decent weather window to get the car into the guy, and then he's got other cars there. So
Yeah.
that's been challenging.
Right, and I don't want to drive the car with the engine all done. Colorado has a decent amount of salt on the
Mhm.
roads now. They've
Right.
switched over more from gravel to salt, and so since there's a tremendous amount of salt, that will eat away at all the plating and all this stuff and just make the engine a mess. And the whole point was to make the thing, clean it up and make it look nice and not
Right.
drive it around in the salt. So that's another thing. So it needs to be a decent day, but it also needs to be not a wet day. So that's
Right.
the idea, at least.
Right, because there
Yeah.
could be no snow, but everything could be melting and
Yeah, and
getting
kind of
all
a
over
mess.
the roads.
So next week's going to be a complete mess. Oh, but we do have something coming up. This is going to be great fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So we have
Yeah.
something kind of special we can let you know about. This is great fun.
yeah.
Next Thursday, hopefully, if the weather
Well,
holds.
yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, the weather keeps turning yucky, but we'll have to see. But I've been in touch with Tommy from TFL Now Car. So
TFL.
TFL Car, TFL Now.
Yeah, they have all these channels.
They have a couple of different channels.
Right.
Anyway, they just bought a 3.2 Carrera, which you guys let us know about in the last live stream. So
Right.
that was great.
Right.
And I reached out to Tommy, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'd totally like to bring the car by." And so he's going to bring
Right.
it by, and we'll do kind of
So
a
hopefully the weather will be good because we don't want him driving his car in
yeah, we don't want him. Yeah, absolutely. But we'll go ahead and do a PPI, a
Right.
post-purchase inspection, and take a look at the car.
Right.
He's got a few things going on, but I think for the most part, the car's running pretty well.
And they've been in our garage before, and it's really challenging with 2 YouTubers trying to film at the same time. So we'll see how the video turns out. Last time I didn't put it up because all I was doing was filming them filming, and so this time we'll just put up them filming.
Well, we'll do more work, but it'll be
Right,
fun.
right.
It'll be really fun to to see Tommy again. I haven't seen him for a couple of years, and last time he was here, he brought a Volkswagen Beetle, a '72
Right.
Super Beetle,
Mm-hmm.
and its whole front end was pretty well rusted. And
Did he
so,
talk about that Beetle by
no,
chance?
I think the Beetle's gone.
Yeah, we don't
I don't know. I didn't.
Felix.
I've asked him a few times. Yes, right, Felix. I asked him a couple of times, but I never heard back. So.
Yeah.
At any rate, so that's coming up on Thursday. That'll be great fun. We'll go ahead and film that, and I'm sure he'll film it and put it up on his channel as well. So you want to check that out on their channel as well. And I wonder if it's going up. They have a classic channel, and I wonder if he's going to put it up on the classic channel. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. Their channel construction is.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused as to what goes where, but
Right.
but they're huge and very popular, so that'll be great fun.
They work on trucks.
Yeah.
We need to work on trucks.
Yeah, I know. We don't have a truck. But and then Scott from Radarosa, I've been talking to him quite a bit as well. And
Right, the Ferrari project is.
Yeah, the Ferrari project's coming up.
Maybe coming up sooner than we expected.
Yeah, we might
Right.
have to.
Right.
We might have to sort of step over to it completely before the 3.2's done.
Right.
If the weather is just going to be a pain.
Yeah, the 3.2 is so close.
Yeah, I know. It's so close. It's got, you just want to finish it up and just say, all right, that's done, move on to this. But
Right.
sometimes they kind of overlap in the end. And I think we have all the parts except we need, I think they're actually, people call them fog lights up front, but they're really not. I think they're flash to pass lights, I think is what they really are.
Maybe. I don't know.
I have to do some research on that actually, but our car's missing them. And most of the Euro cars have them, and then it was pointed out to us.
If it's federalization.
Well, no, I think the grill. I don't know. I have to look for the wiring. So it shouldn't be federalization.
We believe
mess
that
with
the
it.
grill was stolen off the car.
Yeah, I think it was. I think the grill was actually removed from the car because the grill that's on it now is from an old carbureted car, and it's not the right one.
Right.
So that's going to be a thing. So we have to figure out where we can get those lights, and they are rare in hen's teeth. But I was watching Scott's latest video on his 512 BBI, and his lights are rusted at the bottom, just completely eaten away. So I think he might have a source. So I contacted him and go back and forth with him a bit and try to figure out if we can source those parts. They're really hard to find, but so
Ferrari parts are very hard.
it does. And so Heidi is the one who does a lot of the research.
I talk to people overseas sometimes. Yeah.
Trying to find the parts and things and get all the orders taken care of and getting things straightened out. And these orders are just a lot of work.
Well, it is a little bit challenging since I'm not actually doing the work on the car sometimes. So I'll get to a point where I actually need Franny on the phone call too. So
but it's a lot of work going through all the bits and bobs for that.
So, we have 86 people on. So looks like we got somebody come in from Indiana. And
somebody said Guten Abend from
Germany
Chile.
Or Chile. Oh.
Yeah. And what do you think of working on a VW Gia project? Gia would be great, actually.
Love have a convertible.
Yeah. I think maybe
question would be finding one.
Early 70s or mid 60s.
At some point, we are gonna have to really look at our little miniature group of cars.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Heidi, the silent voice. We're gonna have to come up with another project car. We kind of get past working on our own cars.
Probably in 2022.
You think next year?
Yeah, because I think we have enough content to hopefully get us through the year. Maybe fall. I don't know.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, we're gonna have to come up with another car, and we don't have enormous amounts of dough, so we can't go out and buy a Lamborghini. So
no, so that the channel will just
Right. So so that would be Gia would be a perfect project car to do.
Right. Yeah.
That would actually be pretty cool. VW Mark I Rabbit. I love the VW Mark I Rabbit. That's a neat car. I actually had a Rabbit. Was it called a Rabbit Cabriolet?
Franny loves the
Rabbit convertible. It was the year before. It was called the Cabriolet. So Volkswagen, at least in this country, Volkswagen changed the name, which was weird. Oh, and they added the integrated bumpers. So the
Funny story about that cabriolet.
about that one. Which
yeah,
one?
and the job interview.
Oh, that was a different cabriolet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
different one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear it now?
Yeah, well, tell your story.
So Franny and I think it was pretty much right after we met. You wanted me to drive the cabriolet, and I don't remember why. Yeah. So, and so I made it to the job interview, thankfully, and it's actually the place where Franny is working now. So it's a darn good thing that I made it. And on my way back, I was in a pretty busy street. I don't know how many of you know Denver, but we have a street called Santa Fe, and it's pretty, I think it's got 4 or 5 lanes. And I was thankfully, I think, in the right lane, and the clutch cable broke on me. And I literally was in high heels and a dress for this job interview, and panicked, and I had to push the car. There was luckily a driveway really close to the right lane, and there was a business, a tile place or something, and I was able to push it heels off of the road and call Franny and panic. And I think I actually had to, that was in the days before we really had cell phones. Now I'm dating myself, but had to go into the store and I think call her and tell her help.
Yeah. And then it became a lesson on how to drive a car without a clutch.
Right. And Franny's like, you could have driven it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, you can if you're very careful and you match it well. You can do that.
So
did you get the job?
Oh, yes, I did.
So
as I said, I got the job, and then I got Franny a job there, and Franny is still there. I actually left there years ago, but she's still there.
I'm still there. Yeah. Well, here actually,
even though our company's been bought out.
But yeah,
right.
And then somebody asked, "What are the plans for the Ferrari?" The engine is in great condition, actually, and so the engine's fine. We actually had 8 months of work done on the engine when we bought the car. So that's not the problem, but the suspension is a mess on that car, and the interior needs a little love. Then there's the grill up front needs to be dealt with. So I'm going to be tearing the entire suspension, all 4 wheels off the car, and dealing with all that sort of stuff. So so that's going to be a huge amount of work and kind of dirty, yucky work. But we'll get it all back together, and I'm hoping the car will ride a little bit better. When we got the 3.2 Carrera, I had our friend Chad from the very first video. He's in the very first video on that series. I had him drive the car when we first bought it, and he said, "Yeah, your front shocks are bad; they're blown, and you need this, and you need this, and you need this." And so I went through and replaced that stuff, and wow, what a difference it made! It was insane how different the car drove. And so I'm kind of hoping the Ferrari is going to feel quite a bit better.
Right, we need to have
with new shocks, new bushings all around, just kind of take everything apart and
we've been debating. A friend of ours had some shocks that was a third-party company, and really nice shocks that he put in his 308, and then we have been debating whether to get ours just refurbished. So
yeah, because they're Conies.
Yeah, so happy to hear comments if you guys have any suggestions or thoughts on that.
Yeah, but so that's the work on the Ferrari. The driver's seat has a split in the bottom of it that's never really been fixed and really isn't something we can fix. So Juan, the guy who is going to be doing the work on the 3.2 Carrera, he also did our seats for the 3.2 Carrera. So we'll probably take them down to him and have him deal with them and get them sorted. So it's kind of a thing. But so that's the work on I think that's pretty much it for the Ferrari.
Right. We've got some new people coming on. We've got people from the UK.
Yep.
And
I do have one other thing to do on the 993 as well. The timing chain covers on the very back.
Move away from the hands.
The timing chain covers on the back are leaking. And so I have a new gasket kit sitting over here for it. So I'll get into that. I think it's going to be a little fussy, probably super easy to do if the engine's out of the car, but not so much if it's in the car. So that'll be a thing, because they usually sort of bisect there's tin all the way around the car, and it usually bisects right across those. So that'll be a thing. Anyway, we'll figure it out. So yeah, give the Ferrari a hug. What about a Beck Spider? Okay, so now that's a great idea too. I would love to do something like that, actually. I think that those things are really fun.
Right.
Of all the cars that people have brought over for me to work on, I think that was my favorite.
Yeah.
It
Not
was
at
so
the
fun.
time, though.
No,
She was
not at the
pretty
time.
frustrated
Ah.
at a couple of times.
Yeah.
She was just like, "Why am I working on this car?" Mainly the fuel system.
Right. It
But
was
any
such
kind
a
of fuel systems in
Yes.
any cars can
Right.
be just.
And I know Hoovy from Hoopty's Garage, he added one to the Hoopty fleet,
Did he?
and it has a Subaru engine in it. I need to go watch that video though.
Right.
But I mean the Becks are a 550 Spider. I don't know. That would be really, really fun though. We'll have to find one somewhere, I suppose. And they're about, what are they? They're somewhere around $18,000 to $20,000 with a Beetle engine in it. And I don't know, I have to kind of figure that out. But those cars really don't want a tremendous amount of power in them because they're super light. And I would think it'd be super twitchy if it had too much power. And then you need bigger brakes and blah, blah, blah. And you kind of, I don't know, you're losing the spirit of the car. The car was supposed to be super light, super nimble, quick, but not incredibly fast. And yeah, so they're neat cars. I really like them.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
So let me talk a couple of comments here. So
Yeah.
we have somebody here from Japan. I
Wow.
can't imagine what time it is there. Wow, and then some Keith asks, how about an English car, something like a Triumph TR6?
That would be a possibility too. They're just not that common here.
Right.
They're a little hard to find. Heidi's always liked the bug-eyed sprites. Those are really adorable.
Yeah, they're adorable.
They're cute.
We could have gotten one for like $5,000 at one point, but we just didn't have room for it.
And we have a couple of friends who have
right.
Morris Minor.
Yeah.
But I don't know of too many people who have British cars outside of Lotus.
Well,
actually.
we see a bunch at the car shows, but
Yeah.
yeah. So Vince asks about a Transaxle Porsche.
Yeah, so that'd be a front engine Porsche, 944, 928, 924.
We've toyed with the idea. Are you guys sick of Porsches?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I mean, we could do something different, something British, or Franny really likes the E-Type.
An E-Type Jag would be super cool. Yeah. Wow, but they're crazy expensive.
Right.
Or Mercedes.
We'd have to do some sort of Radarosa type of search and find it in somebody's yard, rusted out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Boxster restoration is a definite possibility. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I actually like the Boxster more than the 911.
What are you talking about?
For a 996 series, 997, I'm more of a fan of the 987 Boxster than the 997 911. I just think they're wonderful cars. And so a Boxster would be fun too. If you could pick one up.
I'm not sure that your other half agrees with that.
Yeah, I know, because this one has a 996 turbo, so she really likes it. The only thing about the Boxster that drives me a little nuts is that there's no space behind the seat. Zero. And it'd be nice if it had at least
really
a little
get car
bit of
sick
space.
in that car for some reason.
You did.
I think it's the low seats in it that really get me car sick. But there's a new thing that you can use for seasickness, and I need to test it out. It's a electric watch, and I don't know if you guys have seen those. So for those of you who have spouses that might get car sick, you might want to try them. I actually have one that I have, and I just have to charge it and try it out. But we haven't driven anywhere because of COVID.
We've gone nowhere. We've gone nowhere.
Done any drives or anything.
So anyway, but
so somebody else asked what we do for a living. So do you want to say real quick?
I will.
Besides,
let me finish up the one little thing. So
about the Boxster, right?
Well, yeah, and so anyway, as we get a little closer to the next project car, we'll get with you guys and get some more good ideas, and hopefully we can get some leads. I'll have to put some feelers out, like I don't know, to some of our friends and things, sort of in the YouTube world, and see if we can find something. It'd be kind of fun. I don't know if I really want to haul something out of co-parts or something and try to restore something newer. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Salvage title.
Yeah, I'll have to figure it out.
Right. Yeah.
So on to
Yes.
next. So you said, what do we do?
Yeah, I think just real quick, we can tell people what we do.
Yeah, I just do computer programming and database programming and report writing, and
Pretty much the same thing.
Heidi does pretty much the same thing.
Yep. Yeah.
I work
we
for
do.
an investment company, and Heidi works for a student loan company.
Lending company. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and yeah, we've been in that field for let's see, well over 20 years now.
So Malcolm's asking, please let me know how the motion sickness
Yeah,
thingy works.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a couple of them out there.
Yeah.
I bought one of them. I think it was around $100, and yeah, I just need to have Franny drive crazy and sit in the passenger seat, and yeah, should be good.
Right,
We should do a little review on it.
Right,
and
right.
So yeah,
Or
we
we'll
will.
get the little sunfish out and we'll put it out on the lake and go crazy with it. See if
Yeah.
you get sick from that.
Probably not.
Probably not.
No, I always say it's more twisty roads. And,
Twisty roads. Okay.
Right.
And closed cabins.
right,
Yes, okay.
exactly. So we have somebody on from Portland, and
Oh, good.
somebody asked about British V12 Magic with an XJS, or even somebody else asked about
Or a
Triumph
Triumph
Stag
Stag.
V8.
Well, what about a 12 cylinder E-type Jag?
Yeah.
What about that? I don't know. I know that because I don't know. I've always thought the 12 would be kind of cool, but I know that the originals were 6, and I don't know too much about it. But
Which ones are the really hard to get a hold of and expensive ones? The 6s.
the
12s?
6s, the older
The
ones, the
6s,
6s.
okay.
So I think. So
Shows you how
shows you how
much we know.
you know how much we know about E-type Jags.
Right,
but
right.
God, what a beautiful car! Always love that car, and
Right. Yep. People are. Gregory is commenting on your RC projects, which are kind of.
Oh, okay. Well,
Right.
so since we had a blizzard and I couldn't
Right.
really do anything, I didn't have any footage to edit, I went into the craft room and went kind of crazy down there and went through everything and cleaned it all out. And I was just like, oh, it was tugging on me. Let's go build some airplanes. Let's go do some airplane stuff. And so I really do. I really
it's just
do want to.
we have so little time.
So little
as
time,
long as
so
we
little
have
spare time.
these day jobs, as soon as we,
Yeah,
when
because
we
for us, we
retire.
have a full-time job,
right,
and then we
that's
have
why
housework.
our
and then we
videos are
have-
so sporadic.
videos, yeah.
We try to do every week, but with snowstorms and
Yeah, it's hard to
Right.
bank it up, and but we're here and we're
Right.
still working on it. We're not giving up or anything. So
yeah. Somebody else asked if we're gonna move houses to a bigger garage, and more than likely we would actually just find a place to put
maybe store
the
one
other
or two of the
vehicles
cars or something if we had to.
because
Yeah,
we love our house.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no way we would move out of this house anytime soon.
Anytime super soon. So yeah.
Right.
If we were to move, I don't know.
It was tempting though.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the. So
We're pretty stuffed in here, though. I mean, we got 6 cars in the
we've
3-car
got people
garage.
on
So
from the Netherlands, San Diego, and other parts of California. And let's see.
did we miss any questions?
I don't know. My dad was supposed to get on. I asked my dad if he'd join us for once, and haven't heard a word. So he should be on with a user ID that's that. I don't know if any of you've seen the house tour, but the picture of me and the tuba. So I was like, I don't
Yeah.
even know my dad's user ID.
Mm.
But
But somebody said the 6 cylinders are the way to go with the E-types.
yeah,
The 12s are hard to work on, and yeah, the Lucas Electric. So my first car was a '71 Ford Capri, which was a German car imported to the United States. Weirdly, it had a Ford engine. It was built in Germany, if I remember correctly, and it had a Lucas electrical system on it from the '70s. So it was.
she loved that car.
It was a great car. I love
She
the
did.
car, but boy,
Everything was
every
great
time.
until it got into a car accident.
Yeah, but
Well, until the cow hit the car.
the cow ran into the car just very fast. any rate, when the alternator, it's the alternator, it was like the holy trilogy, the alternator, the battery, and the voltage regulator. And if any one of those three went out, then it would take the other two with it. So if the voltage regulator went bad, then it would overcharge the battery and blow it up and pull too much power out of the alternator and blow it up.
You're coming with.
You're coming with. And so, yeah,
right.
they just, all three of those. So I had to keep a close eye on all three of them. And it was I think it was the voltage regulator that kind of went screwy most of the time. Oh my God. But other than that.
It wasn't regulating very well.
No, it wasn't.
The word regulating.
Yeah. It had a separate.
It's irregular. The voltage is irregular.
It was a solid state regulator, which was kind of new-ish, I guess. And so yeah, it was just kind of it was a mess. But anyway, I love that car. It was just the best. I just loved it. And it has kind of a cool look. So that's why I say I've always owned German and Swedish and now an Italian car.
Oh, Dick Bartlett's
Yeah.
on.
So-
Hey, Dick.
So Ford Capri was a beautiful car of the era. It was. It drove well. It was comfortable. It just felt kind of cool. It was really neat. And moved on from that to a Beetle and then on to a Saab. So eclectic and kind of interesting cars. And I think somebody asked originally, how did you learn to work on cars? Well, I always had cars that required me to work on them too. So, and I
That's
didn't like
actually
getting
when
stranded.
When I learned the most about
Yep.
about cars was when I had my first car when I was 16, and it would strand me all the time. I learned all about them. So that is definitely true. When things break down, I
Yep.
mean, if you're always driving things at work, then you're not going to really learn anything.
Right.
So, yeah.
What color was the Capri? It was brown, and I'm trying to remember what color the interior was. I think it was a lighter color interior, like an off-whitish maybe. But yeah, it was a brown metallic, I think, pretty certain. And the 71 was a little bit different than the newer Capris. And then once they came back and were on that same platform as the Mustangs through the early 80s or whatever, they just weren't the same car at all. So, oh well.
So sorry, yeah. So did you
Yes,
hear
yes,
that
yes.
Dick Bartlett's on?
Oh, hi Dick, how are you?
Friend of ours from the local PCA.
Oh, so somebody's asking about the carb cars in Colorado. Interesting. When we drove the 356 back from Massachusetts, I could definitely tell. So we were going across Kansas and going across all of that. So the great, what was that called? The Great Inland Sea? I think it was called something else. Anyway, 65 million years ago, that place was underwater. And it's an old seabed. And so it's actually very flat and very low. And then you come into Colorado and you start uphill, and I could just feel the car mile after mile, just sort of losing power.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're down probably 20% power on that car. Feels like it, 15% to 20% being at this altitude, because we're about 6,000 feet.
Definitely something that I remember when we had the car back in the 90s when my mom was driving it, that they talked about how it was different at this altitude. And I think they swapped out the jets and tried to do some things to make it better. But we had a fun time with that when we first got Ava back in our garage.
Yeah. And we went to Estes Park and drove up
it was pissed
to the
about
top.
that.
And what is that? That's probably what, 12,000 feet?
Yeah,
Something
it's
like that?
I mean, it's not a 14er, but it's
Yeah.
it's getting way up there. Yeah.
And then you go out to
Trail Ridge Road.
Yeah, Trail Ridge Road.
And it was under construction, so there's no railings on either side. And we're in this car, and
it was
it
really
was
scary.
crazy.
But you get up to the top and you go into a little visitor center and all that sort of thing. And then you get back out and you go to start the car. And you can just hear it going, rah, 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 it feels like you're missing a cylinder. It's really laboring just to even spool up. And you're like, well, this will be interesting. But the nice thing is the whole way home is all downhill. So that's good. But yeah, it does make a
Downhill
big
with
difference.
brakes that don't work very well.
Yeah, with downhill with brakes that don't work that well.
Right.
But it really does make a big difference on these carbureted cars. And fuel injected cars seem to compensate better for it. In fact, I got a kind of an interesting comment. Somebody's like, well, what about the altitude on the 3.2 Carrera? Underneath the seat, if you look at the videos, right next to the DME relay is the big computer, the big computer for the thing, the ECU, and then just on the other side of that is a round. It's like a sort of like a round cylinder kind of thing just sitting there. That's actually an altitude sensor is what that is. But it's just on or off. And I think it clicks over at about 30 to 100 feet, something like that. Forget what it is.
So it's on all the time?
Well, it is here. And so I
yeah.
did check it, and sure enough, it's clicked on. So it did its thing.
Here at our house, I think we're well over a mile high. We're at 58.
We're at 60.
60
from the model airplane parks at 60, and we can't be that much downhill from that.
We're definitely over a mile here.
Yeah, and so it's actually on. So it does its thing. What car lift systems do you have? Would you buy it again? Great question.
Yes.
We get this question a lot. And so we did a video on it. It's older. It's pretty cheesy,
right,
and a little cringeworthy, but there's some great
definitely
information.
cringeworthy.
It's totally cringeworthy.
Heidi laying down on the lift.
Yeah,
and stuff.
it's kind of silly.
Yeah,
anyway, they're direct lift Pro Park 8, and they're 8,000 pound.
8S or 8? Is there an S in there?
There's a wide, but ours is just the normal 8. And
so it's for 8,000.
Yeah, 8,000 pounds.
Right.
And they're 110 volts, so you just plug them into an outlet.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a special outlet for them.
No, they do pull a decent amount of power, and they do fuss with the electrical system with the EM power on the EM backload from the motors. Kind of tends to blow breakers now and then.
We did, but we had it rewired.
It still does. I still have a problem with this one.
No.
Funny, one of the lifts I have a problem with, and the other two I don't.
Right.
But they've been great. We did have one problem with the hydraulic unit on the center lift. It was under warranty, had them come out. They took a picture of it. They just sent us a new one. I just plugged it in and reinstalled it. It was great. So
I think there was something wrong with that lift.
There was.
No, they sold it to us without some other accessories, and it was $200 cheaper, and all these things. And we've had more problems with that one that we got for $200 cheaper than any of the other ones. So, don't let them talk you into something that is missing accessories.
Well, we don't need another set of ramps.
Those ramps are really heavy. They must weigh.
They weigh a ton.
40 pounds
a piece.
Yeah,
they weigh a ton.
Lot.
So they're the big, huge steel ramp. So we didn't need a new set of them, but the lifts have been great. And we haven't really had any problems with it, but the lights underneath them, which you can see kind of up there, those lights that we added all the way through, and those really help for lighting up the cars underneath.
They work great until you get one of the stops stuck underneath it and crunch them.
And lower the light up.
We've crunched them a couple times.
That does it. But they've been great. No complaints. They're not particularly expensive. I think they're under 2,000 or pretty close to 2,000, something like that.
Right. Yeah, they're not a bad price at all. I think they were like 2,100 before you add that.
And you say,
have somebody put it together for you. It's going to be more money.
A little more money, but you say, it's that's kind of expensive and blah blah blah, and it is kind of, but the amount of work you can do on your car will pay for the lift pretty soon. Actually, I think if you've got work to do on your car and you work on it a lot, or for instance you need to store your car, think about the cost of storage. A lot of people
want another car slot.
Well, yeah, but then they'd have to go rent a place to put one of their cars, and then that would cost. So that's
it's worth it from that standpoint.
You just need the ceiling.
You pay for it probably within a year if you work in a rented place to store your car. Yeah, for sure. So, oops, what happened?
So I don't know. You have it turned the wrong way or something. I don't know. So let's see. So do we have another question?
So we have some more people. We have somebody from Germany, France. Somebody congratulated us for hitting 40,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a big thing.
Can I ask you guys a question? I still feel weird about this. And I got a couple of comments. So a little while back, not that far back, we did a couple of episodes paralleling stuff that Sam Crack was doing on his i8. And the reason was because I was going back and forth with Sam quite a bit. And talking to, so somebody said, are you still enjoying the i8? Yes,
we
the
love
i8's
the
great.
Yes.
And so I went back and forth with Sam and spent a couple of days actually researching, and I spent a lot of time on it. Time I probably should have been editing.
Right.
But another fellow, car enthusiast needed some help, and so that's just kind of how we roll.
She really was. And if you watch his video, and he said that Franny and Heidi offered to drive out. Franny actually did offer to drive out.
Yeah, I was ready to fly out there and spend some time with
yeah.
him. Scott did that actually,
Right.
To help him with his Ferrari.
Yep.
Anyway, so I was willing to do all that, and then so Sam puts out a video, and he did a head test. He was looking for combustive gases in the cooling system. And it's just a simple little just that little
blue.
Yeah, it's a little reactant vessel, and you have a
Right.
little plunger, a little squeeze bulb at the top, and you just suck gases up into it, and as a blue fluid, it'll turn color if it sees CO2. Any rate, I did that video, and it did really well.
Reaction video.
And that's what Sam had said. He said, reaction videos do really well. Even better than collab videos do, I think.
Right, much better.
But it felt a little weird, and I got a couple of comments that you're just chasing after somebody who actually has a decent following and blah blah blah, and has a lot of views and blah blah blah, and that made me feel crappy about it. But I was working with Sam quite a bit,
right?
And then after that, when he found out that he did need a new head, we went back and forth quite a bit looking for parts and this and that. So I did another one about what actually caused the problem, because I was really more interested in what the cause was and not the solution. Solution's easy; you just put a new head on the engine. But I was really wondering about the causes, and that video did really, really well as well. But I wondered what you guys thought of it. It was really kind of outside of our normal wheelhouse and what we normally do.
Right.
And if you guys were like, that was kind of a mess, I'm kind of, I don't know, or was it like, yeah, no, that was kind of interesting, it was kind of fun, and
the YouTube analytics said, wow, your video is doing really well, and we're like, great, YouTube, thank you.
There you go. Well, anyway, that's what got us from 32,000
we pretty much 40. Put on 10,000 almost 8,000
subscribers
in like less than a month. It was great.
It was an interesting problem. Oh, great. So you did like it. So
right.
Okay.
Minis, timing chain, and third. Yeah, we've had two minis as well, and we did have problems with the timing chain on our first one, didn't we? It was before we had the channel. So they've liked all your videos. Don't listen to the naysayers.
Okay, good. All right. Well, that's good to hear, because you guys are if we're going to do stuff like that and you guys are really upset about it, then we'll think twice about it. We definitely don't want to.
Classic cars take a little bit longer to build the channel size, and the sooner that we can get our channel size bigger, then the sooner Franny can do that full time. Yeah. So it's just but we like doing classics, so it's really it's a tough call.
Yeah, it is. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, do whatever you like. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So it was enjoyed the collaboration. I think Tyler Hoobie could use some help.
Really?
That would be fun. Although he's so tied in with the wizard that I don't think he would be interested in anything like that. I think
Tyler's hilarious.
Heidi likes
really,
Tyler
really like him. Yeah, I think he's just got this funny sense of humor.
So, and then the eBay 911 series was your favorite. Oh, good.
Great.
Yeah, that was because with that car,
a long project.
Yeah, and that car did come from eBay, and we bought it sight unseen. So we'll go through all that when we do the final episode of that series. But it was that was a thing. So
somebody said they inherited
a B. Looking forward
year.
to your video on sorting the brakes. Okay, yeah, because your B will have the drum brakes unless they were upgraded, but the B would have the drum brakes.
We had the opportunity to put together a 356 that literally was in probably 1,000 pieces, but it would have probably been a 5-year video series. So it sounded like a bit much to take on.
Yeah, Scott is fun too. With
He's
his
actually-
home garage. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a super nice guy.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, we
we
really
did a,
enjoyed we had a Zoom call.
was a
with
Zoom
him
call.
or
Yeah,
something,
yeah. We did a Zoom call with him.
Super, just like he is on his videos.
He is.
A really nice guy.
He was really great and very animated and just really fun to talk to. Had some great advice.
Mhm.
He's definitely worth watching, and
Yeah.
you know, we watch his videos as soon as they come up because
I think you
they're great.
introduced him to Home Built by Jeff, right? Was
Yeah,
that
so I did.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they really managed to talk back and forth.
Home
much,
Built by
but
Jeff and
hope so.
and Radarosa, and they're
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
guys, both of them.
So yeah, Home Built by Jeff has finished up his 911 project for the most part, and he's been
It's
putting
crazy Audi now, right?
no,
Or
he's
is
got the Rockster, his
Oh, right,
Rockster
right.
that he's putting
But he's got okay,
putting an Audi engine in it.
right.
Right. And so yeah, that's pretty cool. So wow.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks so much for the 40
Appreciate
subscribers,
it.
40,000. That's a big deal for us.
Woohoo! It is.
It is a big deal.
10,000 was a big deal. Yeah, it's just it's yeah, it's a big deal.
Well, and the videos are getting more views. So they were sitting sub 10,000 views,
Right.
and now they've popped up and they'll usually do 10,000 in the first week. So that's pretty good. That's
right.
pretty awesome. So
Yeah, and if you guys know other car enthusiasts, please share our channel with them. Yeah, we would love to build our channel quickly.
yeah, that's really helpful actually.
Right.
Sharing them.
Sharing makes the algorithm go
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, a 5-year series about assembling a 356 would sound
Sounds
like
like
fun.
fun. Really?
Yeah. Well, it would be
You would
fun.
want to see other stuff.
Well, you
yeah.
can do other stuff, but
Right. I don't know what's happened to that car. I think it's probably still in the basement of the house that needs to be sold.
and so you were
How's
asking
Lemon
about.
Drop? Love the car.
Oh, I haven't heard from Lemon Drop.
Which is good. Yeah, it's been running really
Yeah.
well, from what we understand. But,
But-
yeah, there's more stuff to be done on Lemon Drop, I'm sure.
Did you that somebody
Oh,
asked us?
somebody
Oh,
just-
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Congrats on 40K. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much. Somebody asked about our favorite era of Porsches and
Oh, very
maybe
good.
some examples of them.
Boy, that's a tough one.
Well, okay.
It's
Well, what is your favorite 356?
my favorite 356? My own.
Yours.
Ava.
Okay. Oh, Ava would be at the top of the list. The
yeah,
only
because
car.
we like the. I don't know. I mean, I really like the B and C cars too. We almost bought a B car at one point.
Mhm. Yeah,
We
did.
We were looking for a coupe, and the car was way too much money for what it was worth. The car that we
Yeah.
went and looked at, it was literally worth $0 because of the amount of money that would have had to go into it. So
Well, I think that I think my favorite 356 would have to be the American Roadster. I just love that
we got
car.
to see. There's
Got to
only
see
like
one.
one in the world, right?
No, there's more than one, but
The
the
guy was racing it.
guy had it racing it.
Right.
No, don't race that car. At any rate,
Right.
they're very, very rare. They were built in 1952, I believe, and that was it. And they're really super cute. They predate the Speedster, and I think that's really kind of a neat car.
Right.
But other than that, the A Cabriolet is a wonderful car. Just
I think
great.
I like Janis Joplin's in the paint job.
You like the paint job. All right, so moving out of that and into the 70s. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know the 70s. I couldn't really just sort of run through the 911s up to that range. I mean, I kind of picked up on them, the
You need to go
911s in
get,
the
like, a
SC range.
Coffee table book.
No,
for
I
this
just don't.
conversation.
I mean, I know there's a lot of very special cars, the 73 RSs and blah,
Right.
blah, blah, but I don't know. This 718, that was an awfully cool car. That's pretty neat.
He
Moving
likes
up
the
through.
959.
Yeah, of course, the 959,
Right.
but that's in the 80s. So the SCs are wonderful.
You still like the Spider.
And I like a 914. I think that's a really neat car as well.
Actually, and it's funny, I have really grown to appreciate the 914. Back in the day when it was an actual car that people could purchase, my mom didn't like them, and so she kind of tainted my like for them. And once I stopped being around my mom, I figured out that I liked the 914s as well. And I actually do like the 944s. I like them.
Yeah,
I mean, if
I
you're
like
gonna
them.
talking about doing a water cooled front end, front engine car, it would probably be a 944.
944.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, my dad's best friend had a 914 with a bored out 2300.
We would love to get
cheaper,
a
huge
six
engine.
cylinder one.
Yeah. Well, the sixes. Yeah, but they were as much as a 911 when they were new.
Right. Yeah.
And then I love the Boxster. I'm a huge fan of the Boxster moving up through the range.
You have a weak spot for the 964s. Yeah, the 964s caught right in between Shamu and our 993, and so we've talked about it, but I mean those are the Singer cars, right? They came from the
Singer starts with those, and then puts
they
a
put in the
993 engine,
which is
the 3.6,
which is the crazy engine to work on.
Yeah.
Anyway, with two different fuel filters oil filters and
oil filters.
It's spark plugs.
Yeah,
we're just going through the
964s are dual ignition too. I'm pretty
spark
certain.
plugs on that car. And,
yeah, I've never worked on or even had a ride in a 964, but from what I understand, Singer backdates the 964. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
right.
that's what I thought. So that's what they start with. There was a Singer. We went to a.
It was the Morgan Adams.
Yeah, we went to Morgan Adams.
I think we had some video of it.
Yeah, there was a Singer parked right next to us, which was awesome. That was amazing. It's the first time I'd ever seen.
That's what we should do. Is we have some really old video and just put it out there when it's really stormy. We'll say, hey, here's some, an opportunity when we went to Morgan Adams and had Avon display 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, we should do something like that.
Yeah.
Or do it on Instagram. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the 964, the 993 is great. I was on a live stream thingy. Live stream. With Tedward, he did one on Instagram, and I asked him about what he felt the difference between the 993 and the 964, and he's a big fan of the 964 and not so much the 993, and that makes sense because they're so different. They are very different cars, and they were built for completely different markets. I think the 964 was the last enthusiast car, and then with the 993, Porsche was like, you know what? The people who are buying these cars are dentists and lawyers and blah blah blah, and they love the brand, but they really don't want to fuss with loud noises and smelly this and bad heating and blah blah blah. They just really want to drive this car to work. So that's kind of where the design for the 993 came from. And then the 996 tried to meld it all together.
Well, wasn't there a thing with, and this is for the tall people out there, I think that from what I understood that some of the other Porsche line cars, other than the 911, wouldn't work for people's height. Like I thought that certain people would hit their head and stuff like that.
Box?
Or just there wouldn't be enough leg room.
Boxers or 944s?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking other cars. Yeah, just in general. I mean, in late 90s, I was thinking 993.
I think the transaxles were fun.
I don't know.
I know that the Boxster, a lot of people
said they could only drive a 911 because of their legs or their height.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. I've heard of that. Well, that's a problem with the 308 as well, because Tom Selleck is 6'4" or something. They had to pull the
I couldn't
bottom
drive
of
the
seat
308
out.
when we first got it because somebody had modified the seat so that they could drive it. Right? It went way far back, and so I put it all the way forward, and my legs were too still.
I think it came from the factory that
trying
way.
to reach it.
Yeah.
So Franny had to do some adjustments, and now it goes all the way back far enough for her legs, and now I can actually reach the pedals.
Yeah, it's funny. Heidi has the other problem.
Little kid.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we have about if you guys have any other questions. Franny actually has to get back to working on the 993 this morning, so we want to answer any other questions you guys might have about future videos.
Also Pantera. Yes.
Yeah.
Pantera would be something. My brother-in-law had a Pantera for a long time.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, so we're we don't want to keep you guys either too long into the day or morning or evening, and but if there's anything else, we'd love to answer
Somebody
some stuff.
has a 986 Boxster, don't want to go to a shop for every minor thing, but I live in an apartment with no place to work on it. Any recommendations?
Oh.
Michael, it depends on like what's your climate like? Like, can you work outside in nicer weather, or
It's
are
hard
you
to do in a parking lot though.
Yeah,
Um,
there's actually a place in where we live now that it's a place where they actually rent a lift and
mhm.
rent a space, and you can literally do it by the hour. I mean, you can do
Yeah.
it by the day or by the hour. I'm sure it's cheaper by the day,
Yeah.
but I don't know if there's any where you live and if there's anything like that. But having a lift is really really nice. So if you wanted to get your list together and kind of figure it out and see if there's a place like that, that would be a possibility.
Yeah, totally.
Or join some car clubs. Maybe you have
Yeah, maybe you have a friend who has a
friend that
space
would
in their
have
garage.
space and they can work on your car. We've made so many friends from the car clubs.
Mhm.
It's a great thing to do if you can join a club. You have the same interests and
Yeah.
people like to work on their cars on the weekends. So
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
a great suggestion. Because yeah, renting a place, are these places? I
it's
don't know. do
usually
we have
free
them?
if somebody has a garage where you can work on your car.
Well,
or
it might
friend.
cost you some beer,
Or beer.
Yeah,
6-pack of beer or, bottle of wine, whatever.
or case of beer, depending on
Right.
how bad the project goes.
Right, exactly.
Right, but yeah, a lot of people. So I mean, there are kind of creative solutions. Working out in a parking lot is a bummer.
Yeah, it's like you go
Even
to
if
like
the weather's perfect.
AutoZone or O'Reilly's. There's always people in those parking lots, like
Installing the parts they just
installing
bought.
stuff, which
Yeah.
is hilarious.
The car barely
you
made it
know.
down there.
But
Do we have any drive reviews planned in the future?
oh,
That's your wheelhouse.
Yeah, we're I've been kind of waiting for the vaccine before I start really getting back into that, but we do. I mean, the Taycan was actually one that they said that they would let us take out, again, when it wasn't so popular like it was
Mhm.
last year. So I definitely would like to do that again. And I drove it for a very short time. Franny actually didn't even get to drive it that day.
No, I haven't
I
driven
mean,
it.
there's people waiting to look at it, and it was, we had the sales guy in the car, but yeah, we definitely there's some really cool cars coming out.
Yeah, that was a Turbo S.
Yeah.
You might like some of the electric cars. You might be fun.
I definitely want to do some of that.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So probably in a few months.
Made you choose it for the collection. So why did we get the 308? I wanted something a little different than the Porsches, and the 308 at the time was like 5 minutes after we bought it. This wasn't the case, but it was relatively inexpensive. They were trading in the mid 30s.
They were actually when we bought it, they were up to the at least $50,000.
Nah, not
we got
when
a
we bought it.
deal on ours. We got a deal.
I know, but I saw them for 30 because we paid 38 for
She
the
was
car.
looking at them for a while.
I was looking at them for a while, and they were starting to go up. You could see them ticking up pretty quickly. I thought, well, if we're going to do it, now will be the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted something a little bit different, but that same era. And I was really curious as to what Ferrari was doing during that time. My initial thoughts on the car before we drove it or bought it was that it was going to be kind of a bit like a Lotus. Feel a little kit car-y, a little bangy, a little unfinished. But that's not the case at all. It's a beautiful car, actually, and it drives well, and it's a great highway cruiser, weirdly.
My first experience was driving it in stop and go traffic across town and taking it to a PCA event, a Ferrari to a PCA event.
Yeah.
And Franny was already at the event, and she was meeting me there, and I was taking Doug in the passenger seat. And that clutch, if you're not used to it, was, I think with stop and go traffic, my leg was really tired by the time we finally got to the destination.
And it's much better than the carbureted cars.
I
QVs
guess.
are a lot easier to work the clutch. And so, yeah.
And that's pretty, I'm thinking about Christy Brinkley driving that car in Vacation. And she was driving one of the carbureted ones, right?
Yeah, it was back. That was
impressive.
Or it might have been the first injected car. It might have been like 1980. Can't remember when that came out.
Right.
But it's not a very good tootle around in slowly in neighborhoods car. It's not really for that. It's really for the open road. and sort of cruising the Italian countryside. And that's really what it's for. So it's an interesting car. It's very different in philosophy than the 3.2 Carrera, which is this kind of bulldoggy kind of thing. And
Right.
it just, it wants to do an autocross and it wants to go around corners. And the Ferrari goes around corners. It's just not really about that. The engines are different. The whole thing is completely different. So, and a lot of people who have 308s also have a 911 in their garage. So I always love that. So kind of neat. Would love a Boxster restoration.
That's good to
project.
know.
Yeah, so
Franny
it's getting a lot
actually
of
wanted
votes
to
for the Boxster.
electrify a Boxster.
Yeah, we looked into that, although
Right.
pretty expensive actually to do something like that, and then very limited range and blah blah blah. And
Right.
I don't know. The thing about the Boxster, certainly the 987, was how they sound awesome. So
Our video stopped you from buying the i8?
are not really. Oh, BMW electrics are not
Oh.
really. Oh well, our video stopped you from buying
Hmm.
one. You should take a look at it. Go back and take a look at the i8. We haven't had any problems with it. I know
Sam
Pat,
has and Pat has. Well, did Pat really have any problems?
no, Pat really didn't. He reported on a lot of problems, but he never really had much problems on his car. But ours has been great. It's a very interesting car, and I think
I love that car.
yeah, it's unusual.
And we had one issue with the battery that it's got a funky battery where you want to get the battery from the dealer, and most of the time
Yeah.
we'll put our own batteries in. But
Well, that's
and
kinda
I'm
true of
talking
all new
about
cars,
the
so.
regular 12-volt battery that runs the lights and stuff, not the big huge battery that's in the car.
Yeah.
But you obviously want to get that one from the dealer too.
Yeah. And there are some issues with people are having with the air conditioner pump and a few other things, but
I just love it. I mean, I can go to the grocery store from here. Our grocery store is about 6 minutes away, and by the time I get back, it's just run out of battery
Electric, yeah.
power. So I literally don't use any gas at all.
yeah.
It's a great little commuter car, just for small little errands and stuff.
Yeah. And it'll get up and go as well. It'll
Right.
really get up
And
and
it
go.
really attracts attention.
Yeah.
Franny doesn't think it does, but it does.
I guess I just don't really notice it.
Like, I didn't know BMW even had a car like that, or just
Yeah,
like
and
that,
you'll get a
so.
lot of those comments. And
Right.
I find that the getting in and out of it's easy enough. I actually prefer that. The doors go up and they're out of the way, and you're not trying to put your leg in first. You put your bum in first and
Yeah.
then swing across. And I find that easy. That just works for me because I'm used to kind of lower.
You can't, if you have a tight spot though, and you can't get the door all the way open, you can't get out of the car. There's no way.
That's true too.
You
but,
know,
but that's pretty unusual. I would have a heck of a time getting a normal
but at
swingy
least
door out.
Yeah, I guess.
I can't get out of the swingy door either. So I don't know, 6 half dozen the other, but I think it's a neat car. It's been great for us. It hasn't given us any fuss. So ours is
Knock
pretty
on
low
wood.
mileage. Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we like it so far.
but yeah. So it's pretty neat. I like it. And as far as hybrids go, it's funny. The hybrids seem like they're the worst of all worlds, right? You've got the electric bit to fuss with, and then you've also got a gasoline engine you have to deal with, or a diesel engine, I suppose. But you've got some type of internal combustion engine you have to deal with, so you still have oil changes, you still have this and that, but then you still have the things with the electric. And on the surface, I think that pushes a lot of people away from hybrids, and they're like, well, I'm either getting an electric car, I'm getting a gas car, but I'm certainly not going to mix the two. But the nice thing about it is that they're more efficient, and they can drive across the country without having to charge. So
Right. Yeah.
in some ways, they're the best of both worlds.
They are, and I think so. Right now, our i8 is still has a battery warranty for at least 2 more years for the big battery of it.
Well, longer than that. I think it's a 10-year.
10-year? It
Yeah.
might. I thought it was eight or
Eight
10.
or
I'm
10
not
years.
sure, but that's one thing that people are always worried about. But it's still under warranty.
It hasn't degraded at all. I mean, it's
Well,
just because it's not under warranty doesn't mean it's going to immediately break.
I think that's what people
um,
are so worried about, though, because of the cost of it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's going to be super duper expensive. But it's just a matter. It's like any other car. You find out what's wrong with it and you replace the part. And the parts are expensive, certainly. But any BMW, the parts are expensive,
But
or
to
Porsche,
replace a
or
transmission or something, just replace it completely.
Yeah.
Or anything, it's
And the engine's small, and so the head on it wasn't that expensive. I don't know. I like it. I think it's a cool car. And so I think that's pretty neat. And then somebody asked about hydrogen cars.
Oh, do we
so-
even have them in this country?
I
mean,
think
that
in
James May
California.
just got one, didn't he? But
Yeah,
he's
I
in
think they
Great
have them
Britain.
more in
Probably in
UK
Europe,
and
yeah.
also in Europe. But
I think they'd be probably hard to find. I don't really know about them, to be honest. I just don't.
I think you'd have the hard time finding a place to get it filled. I guess you'd say charged, filled. I guess filled. They're interesting.
Well, yeah,
They're
there was
really
natural
neat.
gas vehicles back in.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
hydrogen's totally
We've-
different. And
No, I'm just saying, as far as getting them, trying to find a special place to get those filled, it was kind of the same thing.
yeah, so I think the problem is infrastructure, and that's the problem with electric cars as well. It's very expensive to drive a non-Tesla electric car across the country because the Charge America things are very expensive unless you're stopping at Porsche dealerships, I suppose. If you've got a car that you can charge in your house, then I think that works
Charge
great.
in your house. I
In
like
your
that.
house? And why you can charge it in your house? Too?
I did want to turn the living room into another four
Yeah, you
car
did.
bay.
But it's always about the infrastructure with these things, and I know it's the chicken or the egg. You got to have the infrastructure, but then you got to have the car to support the infrastructure, and blah blah blah. So we'll see, I suppose. What do you think? Thank you for all your help. Oh, great, 68
Great.
people. Oh, awesome.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. Well, I think that we're gonna wrap up.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
we should.
Yep.
I got to get back to the car.
She
Gotta get back to
does.
work.
We really have to. Franny wants to be able to put out a video for you next weekend. So.
Right.
Right.
So thank you so much for tuning in
Yeah.
and spending the morning with us. It's very sweet of you to
Definitely.
do that. Thank you. It was great to see you guys or hear from you guys, I suppose.
Right.
And these live streams are always fun. We're always kind of
Yeah, let us know
bubbling
about the
afterwards.
time. The other time that we could do is do it after work like we did before. And the problem with doing it after work is we generally don't get off work till about 5 o'clock, which puts it all the way at close to midnight for anybody in Europe. But it gives people a chance if they're, like in Australia or Japan or India or any place like that, then they would have the opportunity to get on as well.
Yeah.
So
coming up, look for a video shortly on the 993 rear brakes, and then also a video with the collab with
yeah, the collab.
with Tommy.
Maybe that one
So
will
that'll
be
fun.
first. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't get through
Right,
it if I
one of
run into
those.
more issues with this, but I think it'll be
Right.
fine.
Yeah, and at some point, hopefully we'll be able to bring you the video of the Carrera and the seats and the carpeting
Yeah.
and the interior and everything on that.
It's
Hopefully
like
pretty soon.
it's like one of those things that's like 90% there. We
Well,
just need to get
it was
done.
8 months waiting on the carpet
Yeah,
to get
it's
it
been
here
so
'cause
much
it was
prep work.
held up in Germany for
Yeah.
so long.
Ugh.
Yeah, so now we have the carpet.
Yeah,
Hopefully
yeah,
we
yeah.
have all the pieces. We don't even know for sure, but
Oh, I'm
hopefully.
sure they'll work with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that night I went to bed and woke up and I just about falling asleep and my subconscious said, "Do you know if it's actually for a cabriolet or a coupe? Because they're
I had to
different."
call her back just to make
And
sure.
I was like, "Oh, thanks
yeah,
for that."
You
No,
wait
that's
for that
the
long,
thing.
you
Thanks,
will make
thanks.
sure that everything fits.
Yeah, so and it was for a cabriolet because they're different. The
Yeah.
interiors are a bit different. So so I think we're good.
Yeah, thanks for
it's gonna be
joining
fun.
us, everyone.
So-
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, so everybody have a great rest of your day.
Yep.
If it's
Enjoy
already
your Sunday
Monday,
or
have
your
a great
Monday.
week.
Yeah, have a
Yep.
great week.
And we hope to have a video out next weekend. I'll be working through it.
As she grits her teeth.
Yeah.
Next weekend.
Next weekend. It might be
Yeah.
a little bit later, but we'll try
We'll
to
do
get
our
it out
best.
as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
So all right.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Well, have a great day and
Yeah.
Safe travels.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya. All right. Whoops. Yes,
Yes.
I want to.